Welcome. In our journey of faith, you have to wonder, what's the one rule that truly matters most? Well, today, we're going to explore this powerful teaching from the books of Mark and James that gets right to the heart of what it means to genuinely believe. So let's just ask it outright. What is the single most important rule to follow? Now, this isn't just some abstract idea. This is a question that was fired directly at Jesus during a really tense public showdown in Jerusalem. It was designed to test him, right in front of everybody. Okay, so let's set the scene. We're in Mark chapter 12. It's the temple during the final week before the crucifixion. You've got religious leaders just grilling Jesus in public, trying to trap him with these impossible questions. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Now, the person who asks this ultimate question, he's not just some random guy. He's a scribe, a professional, an absolute expert in the very laws he's asking about. And that's what makes this whole encounter so incredible. The expert is about to get a lesson from the author of the law himself. So he asks, which is the first commandment of all? And you have to understand, this was a hot-button issue. Jewish teachers back then were constantly debating which of the 613 commandments in the Torah was the most important. I mean, they had rankings for them. This was a serious heavyweight theological challenge. And Jesus' response is just absolutely brilliant. He doesn't just pick one law off a list of over 600. No, instead, he does something incredibly profound. He takes two ancient commandments and weaves them together into one seamless, all-encompassing instruction. He says the first is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. And the second, it's directly tied to the first, love your neighbor as yourself. Then he drops the mic saying, there is no commandment greater than these. He's making it crystal clear. You can't have one without the other. They're a package deal. So what does this all-in kind of love actually look like? Well, first, he says, with all your heart. The heart was seen as the very center of your life. It's the seat of your desires, your feelings, your passions. This is a call for a love that flows from the absolute core of who you are. But it's not just about emotion. He says, with all your soul. Now this speaks to our entire being, our life force itself. It's a command to love God with every single fiber of our existence. Now let's move on to the mind and see how this builds. Loving God with all your mind means this isn't a blind faith. It's a call to engage our intellect, our reason, our understanding. It's not just about feeling love, but about thinking through our devotion. And finally, all of this comes together in our strength. This is about our physical ability, our power, our actions. This is where our internal devotion becomes an external, visible reality. It's a complete, total, all-in kind of love. What's really interesting is how this all plays out in real life. There's a great quote by Dr. Rodney Jones that says, love is commanded by Mark, but it is tested by James. See, knowing the command is one thing, but showing the evidence of that love, that's something else entirely. And that brings us right to the book of James. Think of it as the practical, real-world exam for the command Jesus gives us. James is all about putting our faith into action. He's basically saying, okay, you say you have faith, show me the evidence. Okay, first, a really important clarification. When James talks about works, he's not talking about what the Apostle Paul often is. Paul's usually talking about following the law to try and earn justification. But James, he's talking about something different. Acts of kindness, good deeds, the natural, tangible fruit that grows from a genuine faith. And James gives this incredibly sharp example. Just picture this. A person claims to have faith. They see a fellow believer who's shivering, doesn't have enough clothes, and is hungry. And their response? They just say, oh, depart in peace, be warmed and filled. But then they do absolutely nothing to actually help. And then James just lands this knockout punch with a simple, devastating question. What does it profit? Seriously, what good is a faith that only offers empty words? What's the point of a belief that doesn't produce any real, tangible help for someone who's desperately in need? And this is where it all clicks together so perfectly. What we see commanded in Mark and what we see tested in James, they are two sides of the very same coin. They are completely, totally inseparable. So here's the powerful takeaway. That vertical love for God, commanded with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, is proven by our horizontal love for our neighbor. True faith isn't just a claim you make, It's a love that you actually demonstrate through your actions. And this brings us to one final, challenging question that gets to the very heart of this entire teaching. Can we truly, honestly claim to love God if we don't help our brother or sister in need? It really forces us to look beyond what we say we believe and to focus instead on the love we actually show.